All right, in this video, we're going to see if we could solve this problem. I already solved it once, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. Let's make a video of it. I'll see if I can remember what the heck I did. So we have three circles. We've got a red circle with a radius of 2. We've got a blue circle with a radius of 4. And then we've got that dinky yellow circle. And our job is to figure out what is the radius of that yellow circle. So let's get started on this. And so first thing I notice is we've got a whole bunch of radiuses here. So I've got this radius. We know that that's a radius of 2. We've got this radius right here. We know that that's a radius of 4. And then we've got this little radius down here. We don't know what that radius is, so I'm going to call that a radius of r. All right. And then I can kind of create a couple of right triangles here. There is one right triangle. And we know the lengths. So we know that if this length down here is r, that means this length here is 2 minus r. And we don't know exactly what this length is, so I'm going to do it in, let's do it in black. So what? I'm going to do it in black so it's easier to see. So this length right here is x. So one side is x, the other side, leg, is 2 minus r, and we don't know what the hypotenuse is, but we sure as heck can calculate. Oh, actually, we do sort of know what it is. It's 2 plus the r. So in fact, let's label that. So that's going to be 2 plus the r. All right, so now we've got 3 sides of that right triangle. And then let's see. Well, we've got another right triangle happening here. So we've got from here to here. We don't know what that length is, but we definitely know this length right here. That's 6. And we know that's 6 because we've got 2 here plus 4 here, so that's 6. And we know what this leg is. So that leg is, it would have been, this whole radius is 4, but this piece is 2. So we know that that piece right there is, let's see right here. We know that that's 2 because this piece is 2. And how do we know? It's because it's way over here, that part right there. All right, and there we go. What? Nice. Oh, there we go. Okay, so, and then what else? What else do we have here? Well, we have another. Let's see, another. I'll do it in green. We've got another right triangle right here, right there, and that right triangle. Let's see. We know this leg. So this leg is going to be 4 minus r. So I'm going to write that down somewhere. Where the heck am I going to write that down? So I'm going to say this leg right here is 4 minus r. We don't know what this leg is going to be, so I'm going to call that y. And we definitely know what this hypotenuse right here is. That's going to be 4 plus the radius. So that's going to be 4 plus r. So we've got a bunch of information. Let's see if we could put some of this stuff together here and figure it out. Let's see. What are we going to do? Well, we know that let's dig into this triangle down here, and let's just kind of solve for x, I guess, is what we'll do. So we know, and I'll do it in black here, we've got, let's see, we've got x squared plus 2 minus r squared, and that's equal to 2 plus r squared. Okay, so there, this is the x, this is the 2 minus r, so that's why it's x squared plus 2 minus r squared. And then here's the hypotenuse, so that's going to be 2 plus r squared. And then we have the same kind of thing happening over here. So what are we going to have over here? We're going to have y squared plus 4 minus r quantity squared is equal to 4 plus r quantity squared. So we have this leg and this leg. So that's y squared plus 4 minus r squared is equal to 4 plus r squared. So let's simplify these things and solve the left one for x and solve the right one for y. All right, so let's go do that. So this is going to be x squared plus 4 minus 4r plus r squared is equal to 4 plus 4r plus r squared. All right, so that's what we've got there so far. And let's see if I can can I move this around a little bit. No, it's not going to let me. Oh, darn it. How about if I just kind of group this? Will it let me group that? No. God darn. All right, whatever. So let's continue simplifying. And so let's see. We've got this r squared and this r squared cancel. Let's see. We've got this 4 and this 4 cancel. And then we can move this minus 4r to the other side. So we end up with x squared is equal to 8r. So x is equal to, let's see, the square root of 8r. And I'll just leave that right there. That's good enough. Now let's take care of the right side, way over here, this y squared stuff. So we've got y squared plus 16 minus 8r plus r squared is equal to 16 plus 8r plus r squared. So all I did was I squared this part, and we got 16 minus 8r plus r squared. I squared this part, we got 16 plus 8r plus r squared. And we can do some simplifying. So r squared and r squared cancel. We've got 16 and 16 cancel. And so we end up with y squared is equal to 16r. So y is equal to square root of 16r, but that's going to equal 4 root r. 4 root r. All right. So there we go. We've got our x, we've got our y, and I'm not sure what that's going to matter. And actually, I know why we're going to do this, okay? Because let's take a look. Up here, we've got another triangle. And if you think about, we know this leg, that leg is 2. We know this hypotenuse, that's 6. But we don't know this guy. But we do. It is x plus y, right here, x plus y. So let's simplify, or let's solve for that and figure out that value, except I'm going to be a little bit on the lazy side, I think. And I'm going to say, I'm going to make this leg m. All right. And so let's do it. So we're going to solve for, let's see, it's going to be m squared plus 2 squared is equal to 6 squared. And then, so that's going to be m squared plus 4 is equal to 36. M squared is equal to 32. So m is equal to the square root of 32. And we'll just leave that. So really, remember, m is really x plus y. So x plus y is equal to 32, square root of 32. Well, now there we go. So we know x plus y is equal to the square root of 32. So we're going to get rid of the x, we're going to get rid of the y, and replace it with a square root of 32. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, it's working. Okay, so we've got square root of 8r plus 4 square root of r, and that equals the square root of 32. And how did we do that? Because we said this is x, this is y, and we knew that x plus y is equal to square root of 32. So x plus y is equal to the square root of 32. All right, so now we're just going to keep going. Now we just have to simplify for r. And not super easy, but we can do this. We can do a little bit of fancy algebra here. And I know that this is the square root of 8 times the square root of r. Plus, and this is 4 times the square root of r. And all of that is equal to 32. So I see that there's a square root of r common in both of these terms. So I'm going to factor that out. And I get the square root of r times the quantity. Square root of 8 plus 4 is equal to the square root of 32. And, well, and then we can divide both sides by that square root of 8 plus 4. And so we end up with r is equal to the square root of 32 over the square root of 8 plus 4. Goodness gracious, that's gross. Oh, no, that's the square root of r is equal to square root of 32 over the square root of 8 plus 4. So now what do we have to do? We have to square both sides. So I'm going to square this side and I'm going to square this side. So what do we end up with? Well, we end up with r on the left side. And then on the right side, we've got the square root of 32 over the square root of 8 plus 4 times the square root of 32 over the square root of 8 plus 4. Goodness gracious. So let's simplify. So square root of 32 times the square root of 32, that's 32. So we know the numerator is going to be 32. And what the heck is the denominator going to be? Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to do that, we're going to multiply those two denominators. And so what are we going to get? We're going to get 8 plus 8 root 8 plus 16. Let's simplify that a little bit. So we're going to get 32 over 24 plus 8 root 8. And we could do some factoring a little bit. And so we can, let's say, we could say that, well, 32 is really 8 times 4. And then 24, so we can factor out an 8. So we're going to get 8 times the quantity, 3 plus root 8. And so these 8s cancel. Let's see, is that going to be right? 8, 4, 8, 8, 16. I think that's going to work out. Let's see. And so our answer is 4 over 3 plus root 8. Oh, goodness. So that's the radius. It's now a value. It's a number. It's an ugly number, but it's a number. Now, let's find out what the heck that value actually is. Okay, so what was it supposed to be? 4 over 3 plus root 8. Okay, so let's do that. That's going to be, 4 over 3 plus root 8. And our answer right there is 0.686. Let's call it 6863. So r is equal to 0.6863. And really, I shouldn't say equal. I should say it's approximately 6863. So there you go. Look at this. Oh my gosh, look at all this math. So we did some fancy Pythagorean theorem. We figured out that a lot of this boiled down to really just this nice tidy square root of 8r plus 4 times the square root of r is equal to 32. And then once we got there, man, it was nothing but algebra. And we ended up with the radius is equal to 0.6863. And that wraps up this problem. It's really kind of fun. So folks, what I would love for you to do is hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm going to continually do these videos on recreational math. We're just having fun doing math. And sometimes we're going to be successful, sometimes we're not. And one of these days I'm going to have to try and record a video where I'm not successful, just so you get an idea that math doesn't require us to get the right answer. Math is really just a way of thinking about how to attack a problem. It's getting the right answer would be nice, but it's not actually necessary. It's the process of going about searching for the answer that is math. Here's why I say that. Carl Gauss worked his whole life trying to prove Fermat's last theorem. He never succeeded. Does that mean Carl Gauss wasn't doing math? Of course he was doing math. He just didn't get that answer. He was doing a lot of other things on his journey towards not getting the answer. And so that's what I'm doing, is just having fun. I happen to be getting the right answers now, but eventually I'm going to have to record a video where I don't get the answer. So anyway, a nice little prologue there. Just hit the subscribe button. See ya.